So, Mr. Prem, you have started your journey from India. After 13 years, you are running a London's Butler Academy in Switzerland. How have you did this? And can you just share your journey with us and with our team and with our followers?
Thank you, Ankit. It's nice to see you. After I think we met about 4 or 5 months ago in Bombay, Mumbai. Yeah, I don't think we have had any opportunity to share journey or anything. You always come into my webinar, and we've been professional. But I would love to do that. So I started at the age of 17 in Taj in Chennai as an apprentice steward. And then I worked there for a few years. As everybody wanted, I also, as a young man, wanted to go out and see the world, other parts of the world, how other people are living, and so on. So I started to work on plans how to go about to get out of the country, to go and see other countries, to explore, to travel. And then I realized all the agencies were located in Mumbai. So I moved to
Right.
Mumbai based, or I looked for Mumbai based hotels. Where the problem I had was Mumbai based hotels accommodation was not acceptable to me. I could not share one room with other people and all. So the another thing, the same time happened was one of my friends who was a chef, sous chef in Lonavala Resort, invited me to come and join him. So I went and took up a position there. As you know, I've come from a service background, and I
Right.
was working in Lonavala as an assistant manager. There was a restaurant called Gajra, a Gujarati restaurant inside the hotel, and I was there. And I looked after room service and sometimes banquets also sometimes. While this was about, a British company, a cruise company came for recruitment. I attended the
Okay.
interview, and in the interview, the interviewer asked me, "Do you know what position you are applying for?" I said, "Yes, I know." The position I was in was assistant manager. Now I applied for assistant waiter. So I took up
Okay.
the position as an assistant waiter on the cruise ship. Anything to
Okay.
do, I have to get away. That was my motive. And because I worked my way up from apprentice to now assistant manager, I know what it takes, how I can do it. I will do it again. That's my confidence. That's my thing. So I took up the job. I went on the cruise ships. While I was in Taj, I used to admire a guy called Paul. And Paul was a clean professional, and he had a graceful way of moving. I really liked how he got himself so organized and all the time very charming, looking super smart and like this. So
Okay.
somehow, years later, when I was in the cruise ship, I got promoted to head waiter and so on. They in fact approached me to ask me to become the first butler of the company. When they asked me to be a butler of the company, the first person who came to my mind was Paul, because he was a butler, he was a valet in Taj. Yeah. But I didn't even know what does a butler do, but I like the way they do it. So I said, if it's a better money than what I'm doing now, I'll take the job. They said yes. I
Right.
took the job, and my first guests were a prime minister, ex-prime minister called Margaret Thatcher, and also the royalty, Her Royal Highness Princess Anne. I was like very stressed, but yes, I could get it through. And following that, I enjoyed this position because of the very high caliber people whom I'm looking after. So
Good.
I felt very much respected, very much honored. They had a sort of, so I really started learning more and more how to do it better, how to do it better, how can I do this, how can I give them better service, and so on. So I was self-learning on the job. We didn't have a much of a training or anything there. Soon I became quite popular, and the company asked me to identify other butlers. I identified, then I left the job. Then I decided to go and live in United Kingdom. At that time, I wanted to take this butler thing to the topmost level. And so
Okay.
I wanted to get into private household or estates or even Buckingham Palace. I applied for Buckingham Palace also. Okay.
That was
So
great.
that time Buckingham Palace didn't give me the job. After 6 years, they asked me to come for an interview. But by the time I already, from being a butler, I became a estate manager. So in that 6 years, anyway, just to come back, after quite a lot of struggle, I could get into my first position. The first position was offered by a guest whom I looked after on the cruise ship, a billionaire man. And I looked after a 300-acre estate in Buckinghamshire. That was my first job. I did that for 14 years after that. For other people, for him, for other people, and so on. So during this time, I learned quite a lot about serving, about the mindset, how people work, about the psychology, about the things, what makes people to do, not to do, what sort of things make them to decide yes or no, and so on. So I learned a lot of things. And so while I was at it itself, I was asked to train people in by London agencies. So I trained some butlers, house managers, and so on. So I had that experience. But at one point, I decided to start my own academy to teach these kind of stuff. And that is how I started London Butler Academy. 4 years ago, I moved from United Kingdom to Switzerland. I run the London Butler Academy from here, but more into, I have taken that essence and now giving into other industries, other serving companies, luxury retailers, and wellness resorts, um, high-end hotels, all these people. I'm giving programs called Serving with Soul.
Okay.
Serving with
I've
Soul.
learned that.
This is a new program which I'm developed. It's an operating system to convert, retain, and to close people who will stay with the business for a long time. That sort of a thing which I've come here now. And I'm blessed for all the people whom I served, that they still remember me and they still give me interactions or even work and other things. Through this time, I've gone into the International Butler School in Netherlands, and I've done some management education in United Kingdom, and a lot of relevant things. Now I'm going to go to a Swiss school for luxury education and things like that. So throughout the life, I've been learning and learning and learning. And because this has been my passion, I loved and I've transformed. And I'm happy to talk to people like you. When you guys wanted to get on to the boat and move forward, I'm happy to show you the ways and to discuss and share my experiences with you. Thank you for asking that question.